Should he be impeached? I mean, it's a little late now, but
You know, we're focusing on Bush as the president, and he told 260 lies. Bush lied his way in there.
right.
You know, he started out lying from the very beginning. You know, with his brother in Florida,
Right.
not counting the votes, and even before the votes were fully counted, Bush came on and gave his inauguration speech.
Right.
And you know, they had to come and say, wait, the votes aren't done being counted. So he had to take
Right.
that speech back and okay, well, we're going to wait for the
Right.
official count to come in. And then he didn't let the votes come in from the troops who were overseas fighting in a war. He didn't
True
let the
indeed.
votes come in from them. So those votes were never counted in his presidency. So I think Bush started out lying
Right.
before he even got in there. And it's amazing. And they say, you know, I've heard that Bush is one of the toughest gangsters to ever
Right.
be in
True
power in
indeed.
America. And so I guess it's hard to take down the kingpin
I
so
guess
easily.
so. Yes, sir. Now we're gonna move on to the next piece, and I said a little bit earlier that today is Super Tuesday, the 5th of February, and so the next piece appears on page 4 of the Final Call newspaper, and it reads, Obama victorious in South Carolina. And of course, this dealt with not only his victory in South Carolina, but in Iowa, and just the political battle that's going on between him and Hillary Rodham Clinton. And this particular article is written by Brother Herman Muhammad, who's the assistant editor who writes out of Chicago. Brilliant, brother. So, my first question for you, Brother Kevin, is what is it about Barack Obama, and I have to ask this from every guest that comes on, that resonates so with the American people?
I think that he speaks from his heart. And, you know, I think a lot of the people that were against Obama, that are not for Obama, helped push him in there because, you know, they said, well, he's one of the best black candidates that we've ever had. He's one of the only legitimate candidates that we ever had. And that made people start listening to what Barack was saying even more.
Right.
And, you know, the brother speaks intelligently. He knows what he's talking about, and he's a fresh face with fresh ideals. So I think his counterparts helped push Barack in there and helped the American people to listen to what he was saying by them trying to degrade him, by trying to say, oh, he's the first good black candidate that we've had, you know, unlike Jesse Jackson or some of these other guys. He's the first
let's
legitimate
explore
black
that. What makes
candidate.
him legitimate as opposed to Jesse Jackson or Al Sharpton or Cynthia McKinney or...
You know, I think, and this is only my personal opinion, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, they wait for something bad to happen or some tragedy in the black communities to come out and show their faces and say, oh, you know, we're for this, or we're for, you know, the people of Katrina, or for the guy that got shot in New York by the police officers. They want to come up every time, you know, the American black people are having something bad happen to them, and they try to put themselves in the position of black leadership, but no one has elected them as black leaders. No one has come out for them and say these are our black leaders. Whereas I think Obama has come up and he's made his way in the Senate.
Right.
You know, and he didn't win that in Chicago by accident. You know, I think he's an intelligent man, and he has a lot of good things to say. That's only my personal belief, though.
Yeah, he's sharp. Gotta give it to him. Now, the article made a point talking about this this campaign, of course, that's being waged between Hillary and Barack. You know, because you know it's got to be both of them. And it reads, it says, Mr. Obama's wave of support was ironically caused by the actions of Bill and Hillary Clinton themselves. The Clintons themselves might have driven many black people into the camp of Mr. Obama by the comments that they made, said Professor Starks, adding that he believes that this signals the rejection of the Clintons' influence and perhaps an end to the loyalty the political family has enjoyed from blacks spanning 2 decades. Now, There were a couple of different comments that the Clintons made. One dealt with Bob Johnson. There was another one that they made, that she made, calling him, saying he was a lawyer for some slumlord in Chicago at a debate. Right. Now, do you think that's what's happening? That this war is driving more black people towards Barack's?
Well, you know, again, I think that's the same thing in a smaller piece, because before Barack ever came on the scene as tough as he did, we had people saying, "Oh, he's the first real black candidate." Mm-hmm. So that made people start listening to Barack and see what he had to say. And then now Hillary and Bill, by trying to play their race card and say that he's only in there because he's black, or Hillary said he compared himself to Martin Luther King, which he did not do. Right. And then she goes on to say that the only reason the Civil Rights Act got signed because
right.
a white man signed it.
Lyndon Johnson.
Lyndon Johnson signed it. She didn't come out and say, Martin Luther King, made civil rights happen. She came out and said it happened because Lyndon Johnson signed the bill. Mm-hmm. And that raised a lot of irony with the black community. So, I mean, that in and of itself, if you degrade Martin Luther King in the black community, you're going to have a problem. I mean, you're going to get people to look at you critically. So she and Bill did themselves a disfavor by playing the race card against Obama. Whether they admit that they did or not is subjective, but facts speak for themselves that she did say that Lyndon Johnson signed so yeah, they are pushing people, especially the black community, into Barack's camp for sure.
But why is that even a question? Why do you think Negroes love Bill Clinton so much? Because not so much Hillary, but Negroes love some Bill Clinton.
Well, it's the job of the politician to fool people. That's what politics are. How can you ask me a question and if I give you a political answer, there's going to be no answer.
Right.
And Bill did a wonderful job of that while he was in office, and if you look at what Bill really did, he didn't support the black people.
Right.
Bill Clinton took away welfare without giving us any other thing to fall back on.
Absolutely.
Without training the people, without giving them vocational skills. He just took away welfare. He took away housing, without building more low-income housing for people to move into once they took away those housing. So Bill did a really, really fine job of making us think that he was the first black president. But in all actuality, Bill was old Bill.
He was old Bill.
Yeah, Bill was Bill.
Arkansas. Tobacco chewing, overall wearing. Yeah. No, I'm not going. Yes, sir. All right. What comes to mind with the whole Clinton thing is it's all so-called style over no substance. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because he played a saxophone with some sunglasses on Arsenio Hall, and he's from Arkansas, and he likes soul food, and he likes black women. So
I think
he
Bill like all the women. That's been proven.
Yeah, I don't think he discriminates. So I mean, and that's the thing that disturbs me about our people is we have to begin to start choosing substance over just that style. Candidates we have to become more politically sophisticated so that candidates actually speak towards our issues. And if we're going to back them, support them, then we should make them make promises to us like other ethnic groups get promises made to them. And not only made to them, but the promises are kept. Right. Anytime you talk about the Jewish lobby or Israel or, those promises are kept. Right. Or those people make the politician pay in the long run. But it doesn't seem that we've been able to develop that level of political sophistication. And I think part of it is that we're overwhelmingly Democrat. We're overwhelmingly Democratic as opposed to Republican or Independent. because that's just what we've been traditionally.
Right.
Now, how do we climb up out of that? That just came to me for whatever reason.
It's